In this video, we are going to talk about 5 signs that your nervous system is healing. These are signs that don't often feel like healing at all. In fact, many people become discouraged during recovery because they expect healing to feel peaceful, calm, and linear, but that's rarely how nervous system works. Some of the most important signs of healing can actually feel uncomfortable, emotional, or even confusing. So there's a saying that every pain is lived twice. First, in the original experience that caused the wound, and then again during the healing process. Healing is not always comfortable. Sometimes it asks us to feel what we spent years avoiding. And while that can be difficult, it can also be the sign that your nervous system is reorganizing itself in a healthy way this time. To understand why healing can feel this way, it helps to know a little bit about how the nervous system works. So your nervous system is constantly doing 3 things. It perceives information, processes that information, and sends out responses. First, sensory neurons carry information from your body and the environment to your brain and spinal cord. This is how your nervous system detects what's happening both inside of your body and outside of it. Next, that information is processed within the central nervous system, largely through billions of interneurons. These interneurons compare new experiences with the past ones you've had, form patterns and assign meanings and decide what response is most appropriate. So most of what we think as our personality, habits, emotional responses, and even learned behavior depends largely on this incredible complex neural network. And finally, motor neurons, and these carry instructions from the brain and spinal cord back to the body, producing changes in movement, posture, muscle tension, heart rate, breathing, and many other physiological or psychological responses. Over time, your nervous system learns through experience. It forms association between situations and psychological state. This is how fear, anxiety, self-doubt, hypervigilance, and even learned helplessness can become automatic responses. Long before we consciously explain our experience with words, the nervous system has already learned whether it is safe or unsafe. The encouraging news is that the brain and nervous systems are capable of change. And through a process known as neuroplasticity, the learned pattern can be updated. Healing doesn't erase your past. It helps your nervous system recognize that the present is different from the past, and that is why nervous system healing often feels messy before it becomes peaceful. As old patterns begin to loosen, your emotion may feel stronger, your awareness may increase, and your body may respond in unfamiliar ways. These experiences are not necessarily signs that you're getting worse. They can be signs that your nervous system is adapting and recovering to new changes. Hi, if you're new here, I am Dr. Emeka, a psychologist. But I'm not sharing this because I simply studied nervous system regulation in a textbook or learned it in a classroom. I'm sharing it because I lived it. For nearly 10 years, I struggled with chronic anxiety and constantly feeling being stuck. Everything began to change when I stopped fighting my nervous system and started learning how to work with it instead. That experience transformed both my personal life and my professional understanding of healing. And so I'm not just here to tell you what to do. I'm here to help you understand what your nervous system is doing and to remind you that your body already has an incredible capacity to heal. And so with that said, let's get into the 5 signs that your nervous system is healing, even when it doesn't feel like it yet. Number 1 sign that your nervous system is healing is you start feeling more, not less. Before now, you've probably been avoiding, stuffing, repressing, or distracting yourself from certain emotions. Healing reverses that. The feeling you buried starts rising back to the surface. For me, it was anger. I grew up on the anxious side, thought that anger was bad, and so I never let myself feel it. When my nervous system started healing, anger finally showed up, and my first instinct was to panic, like something was going wrong, but it wasn't. It was the opposite. That emotion was just finally getting its turn to move through me instead of staying buried. Think of it like your body defrosting. Emotions you didn't let yourself feel for years are now beginning to find their way out. If that's happening to you, it sounds like outbursts, random tears, irritability you can't explain. That is not a setback. That is your body doing exactly what it is supposed or meant to do. And sign number 2, you start noticing instead of jumping into fixing. The second sign of healing is that you stop trying to fix everything and start noticing instead. You begin creating space between what happened and how you respond. Instead of reacting automatically, you pause, and in that pause, you gain something powerful, which is choice. Psychology tells us that reactions are often automatic survival habits, while responses are intentional and guided by your thinking brain. You still notice the uncomfortable thoughts, emotions, and body sensations, but you no longer get pulled into fighting or making them disappear. Instead, you learn to let them exist without letting them control you. This is the clearest sign that your nervous system is healing. It is learning that discomfort is not the same as danger, and that distinctions matter because every calm, intentional response teaches your brain that you are safe. And over time, this rewires old survival patterns and reduces the symptoms that once kept you stuck. The greatest sign of healing is not that life becomes easier. It is that you respond to life differently. And when your response changes, your brain changes. And when your brain changes, your experience of life changes. That is how you move out of survival mode into real psychological freedom. And sign number 3, you lose interest in the hustle culture. For a long time, your body may have been running on stress. Cortisol and adrenaline kept you moving, made you feel productive, and convinced you that slowing down meant falling behind. But as your nervous system begins to heal, that constant hustle starts to feel exhausting instead of exciting. You may also notice the quick dopamine fixes like endless scrolling, overeating, overworking, or other habits that once gave you temporary boost. They don't feel as rewarding anymore. That is a healthy sign. Your brain is shifting from surviving on stress to functioning from genuine energy, real energy. And during that transition, rest, quiet, and even boredom can feel unfamiliar. Don't mistake that for losing your drive. It is your nervous system learning that peace is safe. So one of the clearest signs of healing is this. You stop craving constant stimulation and you start craving something much more powerful, calm. And sign number 4, you start craving solitude and more time alone. Being alone no longer feels like escaping life. It feels like returning to yourself. As your nervous system heals, you become more aware of how noise, crowd, and constant activity affects your body. Instead of pushing through exhaustion, you learn to slow down, recharge, and protect your energy. This is not isolation. It is self-regulation. You begin trusting your body enough to say, I think I need a break now, without feeling guilty about it. And over time, you become more intentional about who and what you give your energy to. You may naturally distance yourself from people, habits, or environment that has kept you constantly in a state of stress. Even the need for social validation or endless scrolling starts to lose its grips. One of the clearest signs again of healing is that you stop chasing stimulation and start choosing what brings you peace. And sign number 5 is that your body starts changing in unexpected ways. As your nervous system heals, your body may go through a period of adjustment. Your sleep might become irregular, your appetite may change, or even your energy level may fluctuate. At first, this may feel alarming, but remember, your autonomic nervous system regulates everything from sleep to digestion to hormones. And as it recalibrates, temporary changes are often part of the process. The key is not to interpret every new sensation as a problem to solve. Instead, learn to trust your body's ability to restore balance, supported with rest, good nutrition, and patience, rather than constantly searching for what is wrong. And so one of the signs of healing is realizing that your body often knows what to do. You just need to give it time and space to do that. And so remember that healing is messy. and is almost never linear. Progress often feels messy before it feels meaningful. One of the biggest shifts happens when you stop trying to control every symptom, thought, or emotion. Instead of fighting your body, you begin trusting it. The human body is designed to adapt and self-regulate, but it needs space to do what it was designed to do. And so don't judge your healing by how things look today. Lasting change often happens quietly, long before you can see it. And so trust the process. Be patient with yourself. Every small step towards safety, awareness, and self-compassion is moving you in the right direction. Hi, this is Ulab. If you're interested in understanding yourself in ways that help you live a richer, more peaceful, and happier life, kindly subscribe and ring the bell. I'll see you in the next video.